Hitler's grand vision expanded globally beyond Europe's confines. In his envisioned global structure, his totalitarian doctrines aimed for continents and nations to submit. His targets included nations like the Soviet Union, the United States, and beyond. The Soviet Union held a critical place on Hitler's list, both ideologically and territorially. Operation Phoenix, an all-encompassing campaign, aimed to subjugate and dismantle the Soviet regime, reflecting his abhorrent racial ideologies. This operation wasn't merely military, it was a meticulously calculated strategy employing psychological warfare, espionage, and strategic military advancements. Hitler understood that pure military might wouldn't guarantee victory against the formidable Soviets. His aim was to corrode morale, fracture alliances, and sow discord internally. The initial phase involved relentless propaganda dissemination, fabricating tales of turmoil and portraying the Soviet government as unstable. Simultaneously, Hitler deployed a complex intelligence network, infiltrating crucial Soviet institutions to sow seeds of doubt among officials and destabilize the regime. Secret military preparations globally amassed a potent arsenal for a swift, decisive strike, catching the Soviets off guard. As tensions rose, Hitler's ambitions drew global attention, presenting a conundrum: intervene and risk conflict or cautiously contain the menace. Yet, fractures emerged within Hitler's plan. Dissent brewed among his inner circle, questioning ideology and foreseeing catastrophic global consequences. A power struggle weakened Hitler's regime, while intelligence leaks hinted at the true extent of his ambitions. Rumors of an impending global conflict prompted diplomatic maneuvers and alliances against Hitler's totalitarian vision. The world teetered on uncertainty, balancing between the threat of tyranny and courageous resistance. The success of Operation Phoenix hinged on power dynamics, ideology, and the resolute opposition to Hitler's tyranny.
The global confrontation looms. Operation Phoenix was more than a strategic plan. It was Hitler's audacious bid for global dominance. While the world observed escalating tensions, Hitler's machinations continued undetected, shrouded in secrecy. Under the guise of diplomatic overtures, Hitler's envoys, posing as ambassadors of peace, stealthily infiltrated key Soviet institutions. Their clandestine mission involved gathering intelligence, sowing discord, and eroding the Soviet infrastructure from within. Disinformation campaigns subtly planted seeds of doubt, while orchestrated incidents stoked internal strife, undermining the confidence of the Soviet leadership. Simultaneously, Hitler bolstered his military prowess, assembling a formidable force in covert locations worldwide. Advanced weaponry and a rigorously trained army stood poised, awaiting the signal for a decisive strike. However, within the heart of Hitler's meticulously crafted plan, dissent brewed. Ethical concerns arose among some within his inner circle. Moral dilemmas about the devastating repercussions of Hitler's ideology clashed with the relentless pursuit of power. Cracks surfaced, threatening to dismantle the unity essential for Operation Phoenix's success. Meanwhile, rumors of Hitler's expansive ambitions reverberated globally, inciting alarm and fervent discussions among world leaders. The United States, confronted by the encroaching shadow of tyranny, faced a profound dilemma. Should they risk intervention and potential catastrophic conflict, or tread cautiously with diplomatic measures, hoping to curb Hitler's escalating ambitions without igniting a global inferno? As tensions mounted, the fragile balance of power teetered on the brink of chaos. The world, a tinderbox of ideologies and aspirations, awaited the inevitable clash between Hitler's iron-fisted rule and the resilience of those unwilling to succumb to tyranny. In the heart of this impending storm, the fate of nations hung in the balance. The success or failure of Operation Phoenix would shape the course of history, a decisive moment where the struggle for liberty clashed with the relentless pursuit of totalitarian domination.
The gathering storm. Operation Phoenix unfurled across continents, yet the world remained oblivious to the impending cataclysm. Hitler's strategic prowess, veiled under the guise of diplomatic exchanges, paved the way for covert infiltration into the Soviet Union's corridors of power. His agents, masquerading as emissaries of goodwill, subtly embedded themselves within the fabric of Soviet governance. Their clandestine mission involved acquiring classified intelligence, planting seeds of doubt, and subtly corroding the foundational pillars of the Soviet regime. Disinformation campaigns sowed discord, while meticulously engineered incidents sparked internal fissures, destabilizing the Soviet hierarchy. Concurrently, Hitler meticulously fortified his military might, amassing a formidable arsenal in undisclosed locations worldwide. Cutting-edge weaponry and a meticulously trained legion stood prepared, awaiting the signal for a decisive strike. However, within the inner sanctum of Hitler's grand design, dissent simmered. Some within his closest circle grappled with moral qualms. Ethical dilemmas about the catastrophic fallout of Hitler's ideology clashed with the relentless pursuit of supremacy. Fissures within threatened to rupture the unity crucial for the success of Operation Phoenix. Meanwhile, whispers of Hitler's expansive ambitions rippled across the global stage, triggering alarm and fervent deliberations among world leaders. The United States, facing the encroaching shadow of totalitarian rule, found itself at a crossroads. Should they intervene and risk triggering an all-consuming conflict, or adopt a cautious diplomatic approach, hoping to contain Hitler's escalating aspirations without plunging the world into chaos? As tensions spiraled, the delicate equilibrium of power hung by a thread. The world, a tinderbox of ideologies and aspirations, stood on the precipice, bracing for the inevitable collision between Hitler's authoritarian vision and the unyielding fortitude of those who refused to capitulate. Amidst this impending storm, the fate of nations remained uncertain. The success or failure of Operation Phoenix loomed on the horizon, a pivotal moment where the struggle for freedom clashed head-on with the unrelenting march of totalitarian control.
The looming crossroads. Operation Phoenix, concealed behind a veneer of diplomatic exchanges and covert maneuvers, continued its inexorable march towards an impending confrontation. Hitler's calculated infiltration into the heart of Soviet governance remained undetected, weaving a complex web of misinformation and internal strife. His agents, camouflaged as ambassadors of peace, subtly embedded themselves within the Soviet apparatus. Their covert mission involved extracting classified intelligence, seeding doubt, and quietly eroding the foundations of the Soviet regime. Disinformation campaigns fomented discord, while carefully orchestrated incidents triggered fractures within the Soviet leadership. Simultaneously, Hitler bolstered his military forces, amassing a formidable array of cutting-edge weaponry and a meticulously trained army poised in undisclosed locations across the globe. A swift and decisive strike was poised to be unleashed upon the unsuspecting Soviet Union. However, cracks within the inner sanctum of Hitler's regime threatened to compromise the unity crucial for Operation Phoenix's success. Ethical quandaries gnawed at the conscience of some within his closest circle. Moral dilemmas about the catastrophic repercussions of Hitler's ideology clashed with the relentless pursuit of absolute power. Meanwhile, whispers of Hitler's ambitions echoed through global corridors of power, igniting apprehension and intense deliberations among world leaders. The United States, faced with the encroaching shadow of totalitarianism, stood at a pivotal crossroads. Should they risk direct intervention, potentially sparking a catastrophic global conflict, or pursue a cautious diplomatic strategy, aiming to contain Hitler's rising ambitions without triggering widespread chaos? As tensions soared, the delicate equilibrium of power hung in the balance. The world stood on the brink, a volatile arena of conflicting ideologies, teetering between the iron grip of totalitarian control and the unwavering resilience of those who refused to surrender their freedom. In the heart of this impending storm, the destiny of nations remained uncertain. The outcome of Operation Phoenix stood as a pivotal moment, a decisive juncture where the battle for liberty clashed against the relentless pursuit of absolute dominance. The consequences of this looming conflict held the power to reshape the course of history, dictating the fate of generations to come.